$90,000 Bitcoin. The market is pumping. The altcoins are still lagging, but meme coins are absolutely flying. So today I want to share with you the 3 altcoins that I'm looking at that I've just bought in the last week or so that I still think are great buys right now, plus one bonus meme coin I'm going to give you at the end to help you dominate this crypto bull market. What a time it is to be. I feel as I've been waiting for this time for 8 years. I don't know about you, but my sleep is all at the wazoo. Waking up at 3 a.m., checking the prices is not healthy, but this is what we're here for. This is what crypto is all about. This is where the money is going to be made over these next 3, 6, 9 months time. So in this video, I want to share with you where I think we're at in the market. Do I think we're topping? Do I think we're going to see a pullback? When is the right time to invest? Plus, I'm going to give you these 3 altcoins, plus a bonus meme coin to help you really build your portfolio and try and make as much money as you can this cycle. Because there's so much noise going on. You know, all your friends are coming back. You know, your buddies are messaging you. There's all these influencers that are coming back talking about crypto. Coinbase is now ranked number 1 in finance on the App Store, and it's starting to rank nearly the highest in the top, I think top 5 or 10 in the normal App Store as well. I'm going to give you the beans, the download, the actual research behind where I think we're at as an independent player in this space. I run Australia's leading crypto research company, Collective Shift. We work with all the major brands. We have over 1,000 clients we work with that pay us for our research and our insights. So I'm going to share with you some of those insights today to help you dominate this next little bit, because there's so much happening and there's so much going on. I really want to help you in this bull market. So let's jump in. I'm going to jump over to the Bitcoin price. So we have blown through $90,000. We've had a little bit of a correction, but you know what? I was saying to our platinum members, I think yesterday, that the real strength of a bull market is noticed and known by the corrections and the pullbacks and how quickly they get bought up. And man, these pullbacks have just been bought up so quickly. Well, that's a 1 minute chart. They've been bought back so quickly. There's really not that much opportunity for anyone to really get too much of an opportunity to buy back in. And we can see here, over the last couple of days, we've had a couple of corrections, but ultimately they've been bought up pretty quick. 92 down to 88. And the biggest thing as well, some people are thinking that, it feels like a bigger correction because the numbers are larger, but essentially 90,000 down to 81,000 is 10% move, right? That's only 10% move. In bull markets, we're used to 10, 20, 30% corrections. I think there's going to be a lot more to come. Now, Bitcoin is still dominating in terms of the altcoins. If we look at the Bitcoin ETH chart here, the ETH BTC chart has just been in a downwards trend for a little while now, since nearly going on about 3 years. We've essentially been in a downtrend. This is essentially showing us the performance of Ethereum against BTC. BTC continues to kill Ethereum. I do think we're going to start to see a breakout here over the next, probably 3 to 6 months. We had a breakout the other day. This is when Bitcoin went bananas and ETH went from about 2,400 over to 3,100. We did have a bit of a breakout, but we've essentially given that all back. So once this starts to break out, I do think the altcoins are starting to really rally. We're starting to see some pop off, but really all the money's been made in the meme coins, which I'll talk about in a second. Now, where are we in the cycle? Is this now a good time to buy in? I know there's a lot of people flying back with money that they want to put in. I firmly believe we still have at least 3, 6 months to go in this bull market, potentially 9, depending on how quickly things run up. If we look at so this is a research piece that one of our analysts, Checkmate, our on-chain analyst, did it for our members recently. We can still see here the Bitcoin searches are not quite where we were back in the peak of 2021. In fact, we're only about halfway. And if we look on chain, the MV/RV ratio is a great indication to see where the peaks have been in previous cycles. So this orange line here, the MV/RV ratio, is a ratio that basically gives us an indication of how people that own Bitcoin, how much profit they're in versus those that haven't, and you can basically buy in the spot market. So basically where we are in the moment, if you see here, we're right at that sort of 2 ratio, about halfway between 4 where previously the highs have been. And essentially this is, once we get over the ratio of 4, it's essentially showing us that Bitcoin holders are in a lot of profit and they start to sell down. The MV/RV ratio has been, actually quite accurate in giving us a pretty good top signal. You can see here as well, if you look above, this is basically the Bitcoin price in the green lines. You can see when the MV/RV ratio sort of hits these peaks and we start to sell off, kind of does a double top, and that's essentially usually between the middle of the all-time highs. Now, the all-time highs, this screenshot I think was maybe a week or so old. We're probably in my prediction, 60, 65, 70% of the way through the bull market, if we are in contrast to previous cycles and how long the all-time high lasts for, why the MV ratio is above that. The other thing we can look at here is the short-term holders, and you can see here, we usually have this first rally, big correction, and the major blow-off top. The major blow-off top is where significant waves of those longer-term holders start to sell, and that's really when the euphoria of the market goes absolutely nuts, and everything starts to sell off. That first rally is really after months of consolidation, which we've had. We've had months and months of consolidation through this period here. We're getting that first rally. I do think things are going to go towards maybe 100,000 US. Maybe then we start to see a big sell-off, and then we have that major blow-off above that. But essentially, where we think things are going is somewhere between that sort of $110,000, $130,000 mark. I think that's where I'm going to start to take some profits. We did a research piece recently on like how high do we think the majors could go. If we look at Bitcoin specifically, like we look at 4 different just basic projection types, whether it be market cap dominance, market cap growth from cycle to cycle, previous all-time high to all-time high, or just average what most people predict. It's somewhere around that $140,000 to $150,000, $160,000 mark. I'm going to be taking profits before then on my Bitcoin. As we know, Bitcoin, once people start to take profits, it usually rotates down into altcoins. That's when I'll start to take some money on altcoins. But for the time being, I think we have a long way to go. Overnight, we saw Robinhood and Coinbase start to announce that they're going to launch their meme coins again. Now, I think this is the biggest thing to do with the US election, with Donald Trump being elected. These major exchanges are starting to get a little bit more comfortable in adding more risk to their offerings, where in the past they've been concerned about securities and a range of different things. So we saw Robinhood list Pepe. We saw Coinbase list WIF as well, just not that long ago. And Pepe pumped 50% overnight, right? 44, 45% overnight. This is a $9 billion asset, right? That is a huge increase just from a launch on Coinbase, right? Absolutely nuts. And then we've also got, as I said, WIF launched on Coinbase as well. Now, I believe meme coins are one of the best areas to get a lot of growth in your portfolio over these next 3 to 6 months while the market is in a retail wave. I've been speaking about meme coins for a long time. In fact, I actually shared with our members, where was it? November 7th, so about a week ago, that I was buying Pepe, Dog with Hat, and Pop, and all of these have gone up. I think at least 100%, maybe more. Definitely Pepe and WIF. Popcat has had a really good run as well. Meme coins for me are something that is going to get a lot of exposure with retail investors. They're not VC led, they're not utility. They're just essentially these community-led, culture-driven coins, and Pepe has been like the one, like it is the meme of the internet. And since launching on Coinbase, obviously 45-50% growth is absolutely nuts. So well done for those that followed me there. I'll talk about memes and what ones I think I'm going to be buying and continue buying, in a second. But continues growth on the Bitcoin, inflows. The ETF, BlackRock hit a record 5 billion overnight. Absolutely nuts. I think Bitcoin is just a safe bet. And really, it's down to what is your conviction in the future of Bitcoin, and what are you going to do with your profits and where you're going to put them. For me, Bitcoin continues to be the asset that you want to stack. I think Bitcoin's going in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. We saw Michael Saylor just buy another $2 billion at the local top. He doesn't care. He knows where it's going. Stacking Bitcoin is the strategy. For me, if I can have a few $1 million in Bitcoin, and that's compounding on average over the last 10 years, 45%. CAGR, that's every year. Obviously, it's not going to stay at 45% every year, but if I'm getting 25-30% CAGR on a couple of $1 million of Bitcoin, you're set, right? So I think that the ultimate goal for a lot of you this cycle is just to stack as much Bitcoin as you can, get out of your altcoins at the peak, use altcoins to obviously load up and drive your growth high of your portfolio, but to stick majority of that into Bitcoin is really where I think you're going to get a lot of a lot of certainty, a lot of financial sort of wealth over the future. Now, where are we in terms of my portfolio? So I've got 12 investments in my portfolio. 3 I'm going to share today, plus I'm going to give you a bonus one. But I just want to share with you, there's been so many great investments we've been able to get over the membership platform. This is over at Collective Shift. Matt, our head analyst, got into Pendle. This was back in February 20. We're really at the bottom. This has done 3,300% since investing into that. Altcoins, again, you have to be very selective. There's 2.5 million coins in the market right now. Obviously, 95% of them are crap, probably 99% of them are crap. But the majority that we've been able to get into, again, as long as you're getting the right narratives and the right areas that retail investors are interested in, that's where you're going to get a lot of the growth. Now, Solana is my first pick. So I think, obviously an obvious one, but Solana is actually one we posted back. Where were we? It was nearly, what was it, about $20? Yeah, Matt, our head analyst, posted this when we started to accumulate since $22. So Solana's been a big one for us, a huge winner for us. I think Solana's going to continue to do really well. My target for Solana is about that $600 mark. I think I'm going to start to take profits around then. I think those next-gen Layer 1 coins, again, are going to be the most favorable. People have switched across from ETH. People are sort of, kicking ETH for not really performing. Solana, a lot of the meme coin activity is happening on Solana, and these guys keep going from strength to strength. Do I think it gets to $1,000 like some analysts think? I don't think so. That's a pretty crazy market cap to get to, but I do think it has at least a 2 or 3x to go from here. Another one, the next year Layer 1, Sui. Sui's been a big winner for us. I shared Sui. When did I share Sui? This was 15th of October. I added this about a month ago. This is about $2.10, $2.20. We're currently $3.30. This has been a great winner for us. I think it's going to continue to do well. The next gen Layer 1s, again, it's sexy. It's a great narrative. It's got good fundamentals. The TVL is growing. You can come over here if you remember. You can actually check out some of our analysis. But essentially, I think Sui is going to continue to dominate that sort of high performance Layer 1 area where the usability is awesome. You can actually sign up with a wallet with your Google account or Facebook account. It's pretty cool. So loving Sui. I think it's another one that I think you should look at to add to your portfolio. 3, Maple, or now Syrup, that I've been pretty vocal on. It's currently going through a transition of the token at the moment, but Maple I've been buying. I shared this. When did I share this? A year ago. This is when Maple was $5.50. Currently Maple is sitting at $25. Hit $60 back in March. I think Maple is going to be the leader of the DeFi and the institutional play this cycle. Keeps going from strength to strength, and I think Maple is going to be an absolute winner. So they're the 3 major coins I think are going to be really good. The narratives, again, are going to be meme coins, DeFi, next-gen Layer 1s. They're the big ones for me. The other one I just want to share with you that I think is the meme coin of this cycle, and this is what I added to my portfolio and I mentioned at the start, is Pepe. Pepe up 62%. I mean, I shared this again a couple of weeks ago, but Pepe is the meme coin of this bull market, and I think Pepe is going to continue to go from strength to strength. Yes, we're starting to see retail interest come in, and we're starting to see things sort of popping and growing, but meme coins, as I mentioned, are continuing to drive retail interest, and they are volatile, and I've got one client in our platinum membership who's got millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars of meme coins, and if you can stomach the volatility, these are great assets to sort of grow and maintain a portfolio that is exposed to those retail narratives. The only downside is the selling the top becomes really hard, and I think that's one area that we did some research on recently around what actually selling the top looks like, and it is difficult because these coins don't last the top for long. We actually looked at Dogecoin last cycle. I think Dogecoin was in the top 10% of its market for less than a day, and I think the top 15 or top 20% for less than 2 days. So when looking at the top, you've just really got to be aware that a lot of these coins don't last at the top for long. Like Solana was at the top for 3 days in the top 5%, or 10% for the top 10 days. So having a proper sell strategy is really important, and knowing how to get out of these coins, especially the lower you go down the list. I think Bitcoin's one that I'm going to be maintaining at least 50% of my portfolio in. Starting to de-risk as the market's going towards that sort of 120, 130,000. As the money rotates down, that's where I'm going to start to take profits in some of these some of these altcoins. Some earlier than others, depending on when you get in. Depends what your goals are. But ultimately, I'm going to be looking to trying to stack as much USDT and stables as I can to reinvest in the next lows. Thinking cycles ahead is a really good way to try and multiply your wealth, because it's not just crypto's not just going to die after this cycle. It's going to continue to roll on. But do I think Bitcoin can continue grinding higher? 100%. I think we could be into 100,000 before Christmas. I think it's a big psychological level, but if we break through there, I think this is going to be a really great day for all those holders. But the biggest thing for me is the ETH BTC chart. We're going to need to see this bottom before anyone gets too excited on ETH and a lot of the altcoins. If we start to see the ETH BTC chart bottom and money start to flow down, which I think will happen once people start taking profits on Bitcoin, then these altcoins are going to start to really rally. But if you're holding a lot of those older coins as well, from the last cycle, these ones, you've got to be really careful of. It's, as I say to our members, it's opportunity cost. The biggest gains in the last 24 hours are not coins that have been around since 2017. You've got to move with the times, right? Pepe, Whiff, some of these ones, Brett, Sui, a lot of the ones we're invested in, these are not older chains. Yes, some of these older chains like Cardano are up, but again, if you look at people carrying on that Cardano's up a lot this week, I think it's still down. What is it? It's still down 81%. So like, people can spin a narrative out of anything, but honestly, you got to stick with these newer narratives. Good fundamental projects, have a good chunk of Bitcoin, have a good chunk of, these next gen layer ones, have some meme coins, don't go too crazy, but ensure you get out this time. We don't want you to round trip and have to wait another cycle before, really making money. So look, it's exciting times. They're my 3 altcoins. Hopefully, you're exposed or looking at exposing yourself to some of these projects. Hopefully your portfolio is doing well. I still believe we have a few months left in this cycle. I think we're probably 60 to 70% of the way through. That's what my gut feel tells me. And based on the volumes and influx of we're seeing investors, there's all bullish signals. With Trump just elected, not elected, he brought on Elon Musk to start up that new area of the government, the Department of, I can't remember what it was called now, but it basically standard for Government Efficiency, Department of Government Efficiency, Doge it standard for. So absolutely crazy times. I think this is where we're at in crypto in 2024. It's absolutely wild. I think next year's going to be epic, but again, stay logic. I see a lot of emotion, a lot of people getting euphoric and people getting very, very excited. Of course, if you're buying things going up 50% of the day, it's going to be nuts, but there are going to be corrections. And when those corrections come, don't panic. They're usually good buying opportunities. However, at the last correction, when things go absolutely nuts and absolutely parabolic, that is the last time that you're going to make a bunch of money, because those on the way down after that parabolic rise is the inevitable 1 to 2 year bear market. So be aware of that. If you like this video and you need help with your sell strategy and all those sorts of things, please check out my channel. Check out the videos I put out. I try and put out a bunch of free stuff to help you crush this bull market, or I've got some free training below to take you to the next step. But hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a subscribe and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks guys.